All right, with Pluto still in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius, and then we had a big focus on Ceres and Aries. We knew the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th was going to be really weird. Now, this Asteroid Fight Club episode is no punches pulled, me trying to tell you like it is, like we were on Mount Olympus together, okay? And so I don't like Eris. It's been Eris week since the 13th. And so there's like in all the old legends, Eris was one of the goddesses who at Mount Olympus threw the golden apple into the other goddesses and said it goes to the fairest. And then so they fought over a freaking golden apple. And remember the two main things that have been driving the digital economy, the two wands, the Apple iOS and then the Android iOS. It's just weird to have Apple explode during a very Eris-y age we are in at the moment, and we'll probably be in for the rest of the year. What I'm trying to say is that one of the legends or rumors of Eris was that she loved corpses. And so with Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn in Capricorn and a whole bunch of conjunctions going on, we knew we were looking for death to be a prevalent subject in 2020. You know, I warned of that for years. It came true. So we're still dealing with this shit. And so I was wondering what Eris and Ceres would bring. And so the coronavirus, which to me represents like a large negative energy of the collective, it came about in China, and then it rolled into Italy, almost like a monster from a horror film. And then it rolled into New York like the Blob, and then it went over to Brazil, and then it's now exploding in India. And so there are a bunch of pictures on the internet, as you know, they have over 330,000 cases in India today. And shocker, like I've been predicting all along, the government just isn't, people are dying. It's just the government is underreporting a lot of it. It was announced 2 weeks ago that Russia lost 400,000 people when they said they'd only lost 80. Nobody really believes the China numbers. And so it's just been crazy, and there's definitely been a lot more death on the planet since 2015, and it's been like building up. So 2022 is now, and next year in 2023 probably gonna be super crazy, man. But they're comparing him to Nero because they kind of, since it wasn't, the virus wasn't exploding in India, I don't know, I'm just saying now it is definitely, they're like having to burn bodies faster than they know what to do with. And the reason, many reasons, it's a huge concern. It's like this negative energy wave will probably continue to just grow, and the negative energy virus will continue to feed off of our negativity and hate. That crazy radical concept, I know. And so as I've said, like no matter what, it's like every time we get Eris energy, it's always nasty, dude. And this was no exception. And it's all, to me, super duper duper very weird. What is the main thing that has also exploded along with the virus has been cryptocurrency. So it was like we had the New World Order currency in 1913. So it's now like the new World Order currency, man. And I don't know. It's all very strange. And everyone is always trying to like spit out biblical prophecy, like on one sentence or one line. It's like, hey man, why don't you go back and break down all 7 churches of the Bible for me? If you understand the book of Revelation so well, I don't know. To me, it's almost like the 7 continents. Each continent had its own church, and that each, every group has a part of what God actually is, but nobody has the whole picture, which is why we fight with each other all the time. And that's so it seems. But it is just super weird that the number one story now is how cryptocurrency, which has no nation and no people to take care of, is trying to supplant the dollar, which, that's like the currency that Americans live off of. And the purchasing power of the dollar has been getting crushed since it got depegged from gold in 1971. But the new advent, invention, and push of cryptocurrency is really doing a number on the dollar, which affects us in the United States of America more than any other country in the world. So the more value that like crypto gets, the less value the dollar will have. So if you hold crypto as a hedge, I mean, I guess that's a decent hedge, but like, you know, like, I don't know. The dollar represents the quality of life in America, and it's almost like if you look at interest rates, the highest interest rates were 15% in the 80s, mid 80s. And so you could put $100,000 in the bank, and the bank would pay you $15,000 for that year. That's what, like, so interest rates were almost how much corporations agreed they were going to split the profits with the people. And so back in the 80s, they were like, we'll give you 15% of profits. But in 2008, they were like, no, we're going to drop interest rates to zero. And if you want to make any profit at all, you got to get into the stock market, or you have to start to invest. And that's pretty much where we've been at. That, like, you have, like, they haven't agreed to split the interest rate profits with the people, steady money, you know, as high as 15% or even to like 5%. They just did that. Like, now the interest rate is like 0.025%. Like, it's nothing. And so if you wanted to make money and could afford to invest, then that's how you made money since 2007, really. And the stock markets have been skyrocketing, cryptos have been skyrocketing, riots have been skyrocketing, just virus has been, I don't know, dude, it's a crazy world. As your planetary defense commander, I gotta say that again. It's just, we definitely live in super duper interesting times. And so Elon Musk, who has like a underground drilling company, he's got electric battery companies, electric car companies, he now runs like the entire space agencies of the United States of America, NASA, pretty much, or commercial space, but he uses their stuff and people and the infrastructure of the USA. And so, and to me, like, cryptocurrency is a parasite on the infrastructure of every other country in the world. That, like, countries and their own currencies had to build that shit, and you, like, it went to that people. So, like, crypto just goes above everything else. And it's like, crypto is there because civilization is standing, but it doesn't really do anything to help civilization keep standing. And it takes up a whole lot of electricity that they got to pump into this super duper computer to pump out the, like, super code mathematic chicken nuggets that are coins. But yeah, so it was announced tonight, very Pluto stationing and about to go retrograde on the 27th moment, that Elon Musk will be hosting Saturday Night Live. So, like, and so it has also been weird to see the guy who basically is in charge of the American space program now is also trying to subvert the dollar. You know, he's like, nah, screw the dollar. Crypto's where it's at. And so now he's the host of SNL. Remember, pretty much a year ago, Elon predicted that based on current trends, there would be 0 new cases of the coronavirus by the end of April last year. And we still had 800 people die from it today. Like I said, they're burning bodies in India. So in March, Elon predicted, oh, America, you ain't got to worry about it. And then by like April, Michael Che, it was what part of half of the best SNL Weekend Update duo, in my opinion, him and Colin Jost, his grandmother died of it. So I don't know, dude, man, everything's weird. And so it's like everything Elon does feels to me now like a commercial for Dogecoin or Bitcoin. So it's just a weird world we live in, bro. And so I'm going to try and keep a sense of humor, do my best, and try and protect the people, the planet, and the animals as I can, as many days or seconds or hours I have here on Earth. This picture's the full moon. It's coming. I mean, it's not full yet. It'll be full on the 26th, 27th. Okay. Well, we've had our like 13th or 14th C-class flare in the last few days, which is very interesting. So the sun is waking up, 4 sunspots right now, which I think is offsetting all the Eris Pluto stuff. And look at this, the cooler, darker bar in the middle. I find that interesting. But yeah, you got this sunspot just turned away. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then I think you may be getting another one. So it is kind of a very light versus darkness, artificial, digital versus analog kind of situation we are in. Yo. So thank God the sun is waking up, or it would be harder to deal with all the crap and shit that is happening right now, in my opinion. How are you doing? What are you wearing? I want to tell jokes. Yeah, dude. But I don't know. Sometimes we all got to work to get our sense of humor popping again. Okay, great. Yeah, dude. That is pretty magnificent. The sun is crazy, but in a really great way. And so Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. Now think of how much the world has absolutely changed since 2008. And no matter what is happening, no matter what all the bullshit is, the underlying factor seems to be the expansion of the monetary base on planet Earth, whatever currency it's denominated in, whether it be dollars, renminbi, yen, sterling. They don't use the ruble anymore, or Dodge, or crypto. Like, no matter what, they've just been printing and creating money like crazy. So but Pluto represents money, and Capricorn represents the old systems. Yeah, so it's going to be Pluto and Capricorn. So that level of weirdness will continue for just less than 2 years. And everybody's got to admit, yeah, the world has definitely changed. This has definitely been one hell of a cycle, one Hades of a cycle. Yeah, but I'm keeping the faith, and I'm trying to stay as cool as I can during all this shit, no matter what happens. And I believe Jesus told me to love God above all else and love my neighbor as my family. And so that's what I do. Man, I love my family. A lot of y'all are super cool, super talented, super funny, super kind, super awesome. And just being around y'all in person when it happens makes me smile and makes my magnetic field grow in the best, most bountiful kind of ways. And so, yeah, the sun has exceeded sunspot progression and solar flux NASA NOAA predictions for the last 8 months. And I definitely think things are going to be super crazy. And another thing to watch for is that, remember when Saturn and Jupiter were in Capricorn with Pluto, and we had the virus, and 2020 was horrible? And then at the end of 2020, December 21st, they left. Saturn and Jupiter, like, adios, Pluto and Capricorn, we are out of here. And then they've both been in Aquarius together. And Aquarius represents like the future, technology, cryptocurrency. And so Jupiter's been in there, and Jupiter's energy expands things, gives more energy to things. So we've watched crypto expand big. But Jupiter now, even though he formed a better bond with Saturn, having to deal with Pluto, he's been in the same sign as Saturn, whether it be Capricorn or Aquarius, since 2019. And so he's ready for a break. And Jupiter gets a break in the middle of May as he goes into Pisces all by himself, which will leave Saturn alone in Aquarius. And so, like, Jupiter brings the party and Saturn brings the, like, drill sergeant, you got work to do shit. And so we'll see what happens. But I definitely think there's a chance we could see crypto start to crash this week, but definitely in the middle of May. Just so it would be like a recreation of what happened in 2017. Remember when crypto exploded to like 19,000 and then dropped back down to 3,000? I think we could see that again, definitely over the next 6 months. But this is just me talking out loud to you on a Saturday night. And I'm trying to talk to you as Asteroid Fight Club and as a friend, just kind of like, hey, buddy, things are crazy. And it's definitely Mount Olympus. Like, it feels like Mount Olympus on Earth right now. It's like, who are you? Which character are you? Who did you grow up to be? Well, you know who I am. But yeah, that's a pretty good solar flare, dude. Just happened. Remember, I'm on Team Super Jupiter. I'm on Team Sun. I'm on Team Venus. I'm on Team Earth. Mars isn't even like my top 5 favorite planets, bro. That's beautiful. So I'm not going to sell out my fellow Earthlings for any other planet, though. Earth is definitely my favorite. Yeah, it's a cool one. Bang. Neato. And one thing that I like about me is I'm over here talking about shit that nobody else is talking about. I don't know. I don't think you heard anybody else mentioning the stuff I was really talking about tonight in the last week or two. But I could be wrong. And Even though I use ego as a shield sometimes or as a propellant, it's all about the team. I know that. There are a lot of super cool men and women before I was born, and there were a lot of super cool men and women while I've been here, and there'll be a lot of super cool men and women after I'm gone. Look how cool, man. Look at that fillet. No, it's a filament. A fillet is something you put on. It's a meat. A fish is a meat, isn't it? I think so. Now I'm just talking crazy. Trying to tell jokes, man. Look at that. Interesting stuff. Interesting things are happening. That's what I'm trying to say. Man, I need to work up the quote-unquote courage or whatever to leave the house and go on an adventure again. Maybe back to the ocean. Who knows? Who knows? But it's going to be a weird weekend. And it's going to be a weird Monday and Tuesday. Will the markets crash? I don't know. But I've mentioned it a bunch of times. We'll see what happens. I definitely think we're in some super strange days, dude. But I'm still just your absolute optimist. Though shit is sucky and it's definitely darkest before the dawn, you know. And it does seem like media and social media somehow always put political doorbells in everybody's commercial and everybody's dog. So for whatever reason, all they gotta do is hit one button. Everybody starts freaking out emotionally. Roof, roof, roof. I love dogs, though. Dogs are great. Hey, man, one freaking chart from 2012 doesn't prove we're in a grand solar minimum. That's all I'm saying. The sun is not flatlining. The sun is not anywhere close to flatlining. It is at the opposite of flatlining. And so, I don't know, it's like trying to predict when, it's like the opposite of trying to predict when Christ will return. Of like trying to predict when the sun is just going to flatline. Well, it flatlined at solar minimum, but for like 3 or 4 months. Now, and some of the worst moderate minimums, it flatlined for 3 years. And so we're in like a fifth of a moderate minimum, which isn't really that big deal at all. And there's so many factors, but I still want to know why Betelgeuse seems to be going through grand solar minimum. We do not. And we have the evidence in front of us to show it. Like the sun is definitely not flatlining, and it's still got 4 years to go, supposedly, until it hits major max solar maximum. And so that is cool, you know? And so I'm just watching it. But at the end of the day, I don't know, dude. I don't think anybody knows. Everybody's always trying to be expert on everything. I just like to ask funny questions sometimes. Asterisk, but it's Planetary Defense Commander, so I'm trying to save lives as well. And get people prepared for whatever we're dealing with. All right. It has been fantastic and great talking to you. I'll talk to y'all in the future. Stay cool. And please, God, bless us all and send us more help. Show us the way. Better days. Amen.